Oops. Oh, I forgot a goal. I forgot a new goal. Uh, what's a theorem? What's a good theorem? Okay, sure. Sure. That works. All right, we're warming up, and then we're gonna do practice squall. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 19, 20, 21. Look at that. Master was right. What? I was not just learning to roll. I have been rolling for quite a long time. Like, there's a ton of master theorems. Yeah, but master sounds like an actual goal. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh, okay. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6, 6. No, it has to be nonsensical, otherwise what's the points? Lucy. It was day 2. It wasn't even Sunday. The clip. It was day 2. It was Saturday. Only Loki, okay. I found it because I decided to go to the ctwc Discord and search up Arcane and see if anybody had commented on it. And as luck has it, somebody did, and I used the timestamp to, like, sort of work out where it was. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, just 10. 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, rhubarb. I swear I didn't mean it. What happened was I started the stream before figuring out what it was, and it was literally just the first thing I came up with, and then I realized after, oh, my B, man. I swear it is not on purpose. It is just today is that all the stars align here. I did get a haircut myself, though. Yo, DDT. How's it going? Appreciate it. Today is not going to be that kind of a day, though. I'm in the midst of warming up, and soon, I want to get this game. I'll finish up this game, because this game's pretty good. I'll get a level 18 start game that, like, makes it probably to 130. And then we're going to be doing a practice qualifier, because I need the practice. I need to make sure I can qualify. Oh, I didn't see it? Someone doing well, thanks. No weather. No, our weather's been fine. That's the bar from the usual. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing, but now with level 18, because I've been struggling. So I want to keep it at least 8 high at all times. Without having to do that. Like I said, I could... Okay, so that was risky if we got more species. We just need deeper well. Okay, so 10 time limit. Perhaps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pieces of metal pill. Now, because we gotta go up even higher, it's... we gotta do this stuff. Practicing gas and prep for Jonas Cup. Very nice. Engaging when you need to quick tap. So the trick for that is, like, on certain situations, deliberately just, like, hold down the button. Don't even try to go for the quick tap. And, like, just try and see if your piece gets anywhere close in the first place. Ooh, what was that? The other tip is to play with sounds, as always. Yeah, let's do that. What's worse? What's worse? Okay. I really don't like that move. So, yeah, too high. This is fine. That's accessible. That was trash. Oh. That's... Are you trying to better manage? It's more... Okay, so... 1, stacking is hard. And 2, stacking is hard when you're high up. So by doing this, I'm practicing kind of a little bit of everything. Oh. Because I think from an empirical perspective, you spend most of your time low on the board. But it's also low on the board where decisions matter the least. It doesn't really make sense as a practice tool, but it's... Okay, so that was actually quite bad. Even though I made it out. And the reason is because I could, if I had any bars there, I might have just died on the spot. Alright, there's no space for them up at the top. And that's like a Tetris that I couldn't take. Anyways. Because I chose to play it risky and I paid the price. Okay. So here is a riddle. Let's say I'm up top. Alright, and when I'm high up, I'm waiting for a piece for it to burn. And let's say the piece can be any of an L piece, an S piece, or an I piece. So that's like a 3/7 chance, and we're gonna be using like 3/7 as the estimates. Because it works. Alright, what is the probability that I have to wait at least, let's say, 7 pieces? 7 pieces for one of those to show up. Alright, I'm up high, and there are 3 pieces that I'm looking for. What? Can I not close it? Like, right about there. I got the L piece, that was one that I was looking for, and I got it quite early. Alright, that was a square piece. But squares have a harder time making it over than S's, so S's and L's. So sometimes they're not an option. This is still too high. What am I doing? Like, I keep covering the well. Like, it's forced, but I put myself in that situation. So we take that. And now we drill down. Because here I've gotten some very, very fortunate timing. When it comes to these L pieces. Yeah, no, I keep covering the well. This is quite bad. Okay, so this hide's just not safe. So I need to be targeting something like this. Yeah. Then I can build up the left a lot more, and at that point, my options are considerably more open. Yeah. And yeah, the other thing we have to worry about is transition. One, two. Set up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There I had to effectively wait 6 pieces, I think, for the L to show up. Okay, that's stupid. Okay. Good enough. Here, let me actually, okay, so what's 4/7 to the power of 6? 3%. Ooh. Am I back in Texas for the summer? Yes, but technically no. Just because I have to travel so frequently. Okay, we're gonna start our qualifier in a bit. So let's clear out the scoreboard. It is 1 hour, and it is number of maxes. So this is somewhat volatile. And last time I got 2 900s, which is unfortunate. So we'll see how we do this time. All right, so 3, 2, 1, go. All right, I was dying pretty much all over the place. Right, I had deaths on 18, I had deaths right into 19. And 18 pace was not good. All right, most of the time, I sort of rely on my ability to max out a DAS game, provided I make it to the kill screen. But there was actually a game yesterday where I made it to the kill screen and didn't max, and that was because I had an abysmal start. There's your stack rabbits. go ahead, Mariachi. So there is a big DAS tournaments in Germany. Just a week. I will be going. So I am practicing for its qualifiers. In Croatia in a week. Sorry, man. That would be sick, but my travel schedule's pretty rigid. Then it would be really. I would have honestly liked to stay in Europe for another week because I believe in 2 weeks' time there is a very large OSU convention. And in particular, they're even going to have an OSU Taiko tournament, and I play OSU Taiko. Yeah. Is your LAN Tetris Clone Hero just hangouts, or is there a theme? Bring sunscreen. Duly noted. It's it's you literally said modern LAN. Okay. Tournament oriented. That's awesome. Yeah. I will be getting my fill of modern in like 3 weeks, or no, just about a month. At the World Puzzle League Championships in Ohio. I'm quite excited. Go to that. Highball! That's also gonna be fun. Yeah. Aura, such a weird word. I've been seeing more of like a counter aura movements in recent months. No! What's wrong? Okay. I might die. Okay. That was stupid, but okay. That was nice. Mamao Lakuki, thanks for the raid. Okay. Oh my god. Am I correct in assuming that saying that you have been grinding any percent recently? I feel like dude, but I forgot qual mode. Whoops. Oh no. I will take extra long time to turn it on. I'll turn on line cap too because people will complain about that. Okay. No, I made a mistake, so it's whatever. Maybe that's better. Sorry. Oh, look, we're in another high spot. I hope we get the pieces. Oh, we do. Thank you. Maybe I spoke too soon. That sucks. So bad. Okay. Okay, I guess I'm just playing too high. I guess this is the part that I'm trying to fix that I just got. Part that I tried to fix with Drought Hack, and I think I just got a lucky run there. Okay. Okay, so we probably lost about one game. Okay, I can stack this up and then reset quickly if it doesn't come. There we go. Evils. Engagement baits. So true. Yeah. Why is the light in here feel bad? No, like it definitely is, but like, why am I feeling it? Like everything is just dim. face as effectively. Nice. Watch me down. This is fine. How much time have we lost? 13 minutes. It's fine. Too aggressive, focusing on our own things. I'm burning way too much. die. Dude! Dude! Oh well. Is it not? Is there still? Okay. Like, pretty consistently, my problems are, like, now all of 18 and, like, the last 30 lines of 19. If I am dying, it is, like, at the very end when I'm one Tetris off. Why is relying on flat taps a bad thing? If you could hit them. Okay. Yeah, like it's a trade-off. You either stack safer or you become better at playing risky. And you have plenty of time to experience. Like with rolling, you learn how to do everything, then you figure out how much everything succeeds. And then start calibrating. So from that perspective, practice everything because you'll need everything. Hey, Zodium. A lot of people streaming who I haven't seen stream in a while. There's somebody particular that I'm gonna raid that actually keeps trends. What is Drow? Stop saying you sound like dragons. They used to be my favorite band. There is a proper way to finesse that, and I have not figured it out. There we go. Take two. I've been talking about tilt coefficients. Yeah, okay. I'm at 0. We're not exactly having the greatest time. Okay, that was actually quite nice. Okay, either... Okay, 3, maybe 4? One, two... Yeah, I need like 2 trickles. Okay. Okay, GG. Dude, I feel so bad right now. I'm not no dangler, I'm not no dangler. No dangler, I am not no dangler, I'm bracket 161. Oh, I should have filled the middle. I should have filled the middle. I didn't fill the middle. Now the middle. I'm not gonna finish that. Nice. Okay, good start. Good start. Good start. Good start. This is what we need. So now what we need is to not stack that high, even if the bars don't come. See, look at that. Look at that. I love that triple. I'm gonna take another one. It's gonna be a double. But that's okay. That's okay. We're staying at 8 high. And suddenly the board feels oh so much more livable. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's that is worthy of some good positive fucking yeah. Okay. 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 Okay, what are we doing here? Thank you. I make one bad board. I made several bad boards, but besides the points. Ignore the bar counts. Ignore the pace. I have been robbed this game. Nerd, I already know my life is a comedy. And you're the punchline, ha ha! Oh my god. I had a shift on that frame too, so that was a spin tuck. Did you see? Did you see? I messed up the positioning. Okay, so technically I didn't go under anything, so it was like kind of a quasi pseudo tuck, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's just a spin. Maybe that's okay. Maybe this is okay, this is not okay. There we go. Okay, I like how I handled that. The option to build up, and the option break it down. I don't want to top out. Spin shift? I like spin shift a lot, actually. Was that back to back? I think that was back to back. So in just 40 minutes, we have matched our qual from yesterday. Or not yesterday, 2 days ago. I did not stream yesterday because I was so focused on finishing up the wiring for my prototype. Or I guess the digital wiring for my PCB design for the ctwc competition cards. And I did finish that. And then thanks to a couple of brief conversations earlier this morning, I know that like the work that I have done is nearly fundamentally flawed, and I will have to more or less start from scratch again. At least on the wiring side. So that's fun. That's a joy. But I am sure glad that we are making progress. And I have gained wisdom, yes. A lot of the time I've spent has been like literally teaching myself stuff. But yeah. The cool thing is that we have not one, but 3 separate concepts for the competition cards. Alright, and they are being worked on by 3 separate people who are each sharing progress with each other. Progress and advice. And I think really this is the best way to do things. Alright, there is less, there's not a single point of failure. Like, we're not all dependent on one guy, like before. And we'll encourage each other to actually get shit done. A battle royale, yeah, in a sense. Alright, yeah, and each of us has like a very slightly different concepts that I could talk more about if you're interested. The 3 people are myself, ICX, and Kataru Kerr. Wait, Lizzie, are you talking about yourself or some like other like actually serious crash outs? Dude, why did I go for this? Why did I go for this? Where's the bar? It's in the box. Burrito Dad had his reasons, and he was not, like, maintaining anything particularly important. Yeah. We've had some pretty good luck with stewardship over projects for most of the community's lifetime. Alright, the only person who has really taken a step back was Professor L. And even then, that was okay, because, 1, the bot is, like, fairly self-sufficient, and 2, she made sure that I knew everything I needed to take it over myself. God. I'm still waiting on Tetris TV. Yeah, but it's functional, at least. If I want to work on leaderboard at some point, Lucy, I'm so host. So they like there's card stuff and there's still like things I could actively be doing for that. And then and then there is a video that I'm working on. That I'm actually been procrastinating on to work on card stuff. Yeah. No, I'm working on too many things and I'm kind of just bad at working at stuff, to be honest. Uh okay, but we got time for 2 more games. Oh my god, you're so true for that, nerd. That is perfect. I love that so much. Yeah. Okay, so I guess I could talk a bit more about what's been going on with cards research. So I have been working on my thing. Basically, what I'm doing is, or actually, I'll start with Kataro because he has the most history with this. So Kataro has, out of the three of us, had the closest contact with the guy who made the original carts. And he had been doing some research on the side for like maybe like a year or two on how to make them again, but hadn't made a ton of like concrete progress on that front. Alright, by his own admission, he is not an electrical engineer. So I think a lot of that was just like researching on like how all the shit works. So basically he does have access to like the internal like the cartridges themselves, and he has access to like their internal designs. And the way that they work is something along the lines of have a device that's what's called a CPLD, which I think is like complex programmable logic device. Right, and what this is basically just like a circuit that you can define how it works using code. Alright, so you take that, and you basically use it, you put it in the middle of, like, the cartridge, PCB. So, like, there's, like, a big circuit board inside the carts that, like, does all the heavy lifting. But, actually, that's a lie. It's actually not that big. It's quite small, and it can be moved upwards, so you can fit this extra device inside the cartridge. This is nice because we're not technically destroying anything that's originally there. So if you do that, and you put this CPLD in the middle, you can program it to say, hi, whenever the NES asks for the data at like this address, alright, compare this address to like a list, and then if it matches, go ahead and go ahead and send the custom data over instead of what's the original. And then you create some more circuit pathways to, or traces, I believe they're called. Alright, to connect the original board to your new, to this like custom adapter, just in case. And you're good to go. So, I think Guitar was like loosely involved with this when this was originally created. Alright, I believe the creator like wishes to stay anonymous, and I don't know who they are anyways. Alright, so he has an idea of how it works. He sent me a picture of the internal. It was very helpful when I was just like starting out, figuring things out from the ground up. And recently, there has actually been some developments. Taru got in contact with somebody, with a person. And that person was actually able to send over like several missing data files. Like, see, before all this, Guitar didn't even have the code to work with. So now that he has that, once he has time as an adult with a job desperately searches for every instance of their life, he may take a look at that, and he might try and figure out what they did. Alright, and then his other task is to actually update the design. Alright, and the main reason for that is because the CPLD, like the big circuit that does the heavy lifting, is actually not manufactured anymore. It is deprecated, say, so to speak. And so we might have to replace it with a newer one, but newer ones are like very slightly different, so he'll have to adapt several things. Not trivial by any means, even though he has more information to work with now. Alright, and then I believe last year is when ICX started doing some work on a project of his own. And what ICX wants to do is something that's actually even more ambitious than the needs for ctwc. What he wants is something that can like communicate directly to a PC. Alright, it can basically, it will essentially replace the chip entirely. And it'll be able to like read memory values for like everything. And that would be huge. It would be huge because that means that we could send like memory directly to our computer. And think about what this means for Nestress champs. Alright, we immediately remove any and all lossy transfer that we have to do for greedy captures. So imagine no flickering bugs, no like having to calibrate next boxes without knowing why they work. None of that. And then you can enable some really cool statistics, you can enable some tracking, just like this kind of device to exist in general would be massive. Alright, and finally there is my approach. Alright, where I'm sort of sitting in between. Oh, no, I went aggressive. Wasn't thinking. Okay, cool. Do I play this one? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, this is so PB possible. And I have the time. Are you serious? Why now? $270 down? No, it's gone. Dude, the pieces were good. I was getting everything. How much time? 6 minutes? From 14 minutes? Oh, yeah, I suppose it was fast. Okay, that's next on number 3. So yeah. So one of the things about ICX's project that makes it so special is that he is using a microcontroller instead of a CPLD. So now think of a microcontroller like a tiny computer. All right, it has a small amount of memory. It generally runs at a slower clock speed than your conventional laptop, but it is cheap like anything and can fit inside a cartridge. So the advantage of having CPLD is that circuits are like essentially instant, because they don't have to worry about things like clock cycles. They can just like the electricity will just like travel very, very fast, literally speed of light. And so there's a bit of a trade-off, and it's that while slower for like really fast operations, you can just like program microcontrollers way more powerfully. So that is fundamentally what ICX is doing. Yo, Wiley, thank you so much for the raid. I'm explaining how the ctwc custom carts work, or at least our attempts at building new ones. No, I still can't find it, Wiley. Let me know if you see it. Maybe it's lying around my room somewhere. But unfortunately, I just don't have it anymore. It's about qual options. In a sense, yeah, it's about making sure. So, yeah, the entire motivation behind making custom carts now is that I think, right, for context, ctwc, the Classic Tetris World Championships, has been using number of max outs. Basically, just like get as many like games that are like reasonably high scoring as you can within 2 hours. And people have been unhappy with this since 2021, and it is only that has only continued to grow in the time since. All right, I think this year was the year that like everybody expected it would finally fail. But the thing that it has going for it is that it predicts like tournament results fairly well, despite like not being representative of actual tournament gameplay in the slightest. But the problem is that people still want different qual methods because, one, it's more enjoyable. Two, this current qual method is quite taxing on hands. I could definitely feel myself getting tired and like performing worse later on. I saw Noah Dangler like very visibly be affected by this as well. What if we change the kickers to go as high as you want? You can record a kicker that's only over 1 million, but that runs into the problem that every other alternative has. And it's that we can't track this for every single station. And this is the problem when we can't fit everybody on the main stage, and there are a lot of people that have the ability to score really high now. Thoughts on keeping it the same with, Is everybody rating on this? It's crazy. Alright, y'all better stick to the person that I'm about to rate, because they're doing some really fun stuff. They're actually going to be working on something for me that I asked them to. So anyways, yeah. And the problem with that, Wiley, is that we can't track scores over 1 million. We don't have the hardware for it. So like, we have the ctwc cards, but there are a limited number of them, and we don't know how to make more. And I think it's this quality that like lets ctwc, or at least the higher ups, be like kind of dismissive about any other options. Because they can be like, yeah, we hear you, but like there's nothing we can do because like, we don't have the ability to make more technology. And then they don't have to think about it. Let's just make more, exactly. So that is what I've been talking about. Alright, there have been talks about making more for some time. It has been stalled, but now thanks to this recent discussion, there is a lot more interest in it. And we have 3 different people working on 3 different ideas. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I'd say thank Eve. Eve's I am giving Easy the W on this one because she actually did the legwork to collect survey data from top players before the discussion, the most recent version of this discussion even started. And like when Vince like asked for data, she like immediately responded. Tech track scores, dude. There's no way to use it. I like the concept of it, but there's no way. Yeah, Colony W. So yeah, I was explaining the way that Itaru and ICX's versions would work, and then I was about to start like explaining mine. And then I decided it would be better to explain context for all of Wiley's fans. So the way that I'm doing it is I'm using a microcontroller, but I'm like focusing on like keeping it a bit more self-contained. And also another benefit of just my approach by design is that it is going to be really, really cheap. So there's like no reason that ctwc would ever ignore this. Wish I didn't have to burn. This was such a back-to-back 600s. So I'm using a microcontroller, and I'm basically doing the same thing that Kataru is doing. Just the basic, just write a patcher. So basically, it's like I'm using. I have Kataru's scope, and I'm using ICX's I guess main materials in a sense. What's the issue with just duplicating ctwc cards? They were custom made for us, and the person who made them is no longer affiliated. They aren't easy. Apparently, they've been like notoriously hard to contact. Like I have been told that this person wants to keep their identity anonymous, so I don't even know who they are. Like basically, like to put this into perspective, Kataru recently got the code for like the current version of the ctwc cards. All right, that is like a very critical part of like how, us being able to manufacture it that he just did not have. All right, there are some other logistical issues. For one, the main chip that the ctwc cards use is no longer manufactured. It has been deprecated, and we would stand to benefit from like maybe updating it, and that would require us to tweak a number of small things. Yeah. No, it's the problem is that we do not have one, like that many electrical engineers in the community, or two, that many electrical engineers who will spend the time it takes to do this. Because it's not easy. It is not easy. It is like saying, why don't we just make a new leaderboard website? All right, and for them, like, we actually have competent software engineers. It is just like for like community things. It is like the resources aren't trivial to come by. Which is why it's good that like we have motivation, because motivation means time, and time is how you defeat an experience. Also, Norig is also not like eternally reliable. It would require. It is no different than Nestor's champs at the for the scope that ctwc wants to do it for. Yeah. Also, Norig, I don't think is licensed, so like 4 and a 973 is solid. It's very good. Yeah. That either rivals or beats top seed from last year. Like, think of it. Okay, so what does Nord do? Nord captures the screen from a capture card. So one, we would need to have like so many more capture cards and like so many laptops, because Norg also does not currently support support multiple instances. I think on a browser. I think they're very explicit about who's logged in. Is this conversation about copyright issues? Yes, and how we're like sort of working on it. Huh? Noted. Okay, so yeah. So I have spent a lot of time instead of like editing a video that needs to be done by this weekend. Speaking of which, I should bump another people. Oh, also, Mari, I might ask you. I might ask you for a favor. That's yeah. So yeah, that is the current state of things. So here is a survey. I have a fairly rough estimate of the price of like how much it would cost to make competition cards. So let's say we want to make 50 competition cards. All right. This should be enough. This should be more than enough for main stage plus side station. How many how much do you think it would cost? Taki, here is the question. So how much, yeah, basically just how much would like base all the materials for a ctwc competition card cost, according to my design? Ah, you spoiled it. You spoiled it. I wanted to get chat to guess. 5,000 for 50? Yeah, it's probably okay. So I forgot. So actually, Tacky, since I made that post, I realized that I made several errors, and I will actually need more components. But uh, it would cost, let's say, $300 to $400 for all of them. And the thing is, if we were to make 100 of these, it would cost even less per cards. So I've been talking to another friend who's dabbled in more PCB design stuff for me, and his explanation is that it's actually the part that takes the most time for them is laying out like the entire like just like uploading the layouts and like doing the assembly and like figuring out like what needs to go where. But once you do that, copy and pasting it is free or close to free. And the actual like parts are also like dirt cheap. Like the microcontroller, I think will cost like 79 cents per unit when bought in bulk. Maybe closer to $1 if stuff changes. Like laying out the traces, pretty much, yeah. Wait, yeah. So yeah, keep in mind, this is my first time doing like anything related to PCB design. I am very, I could very be Dunning-Kruger myself, Dunning-Krugering myself. Like, there's a lot that I don't know. I do not know what Eagle Autoset works with me. Actually, Andrew, if you could DM me, and I could ask you if I could ask you questions, that would be lovely. All right. So there's that. We need to get basically like pin connectors. So like kind of like what the NESs have internally. We're sort of taking that and that's something so that we can slot into the PCB and read stuff out that way. No, I mean, yeah, Wiley, we're all amateurs. I think ICX is the only one that's actually studying this at school. Wait, but Coffee, no, you don't understand. This is cheap. This is nothing. That is a plane ride for me. I go to one less regional. I can make as many of these as I want. It's supposed to be PCBs for a sophomore junior class. We got to the PCB, yeah. And there's like a lot of other factors. Like I'm ordering from this company called JLC PCB. All right, one of the nice things that they do is they actually assemble most of the components. So all I'd have to do is like some like relatively easy soldering and like all the hard stuff they take care of. But they also ship from China, and tariffs might be getting bad, but that's still up in the air. It feels like news for that changes every day. Yeah, like okay, like I also do not know whether the CPU that I have settled on is actually fast enough. So that's something I'm gonna have to test. No, coffee. The goal is to make it unbelievably easy for Vince to make the switch. All right, I'll ask him to pay for like the materials to make the cards, maybe. That's it. I picked STM32F103, so it is without an external clock. It's 64 megahertz CPU. It has 37 pins, which I believe is enough. So the math works out to like so it's 36 MCU cycles per one CPU cycle. I think so. Ooh, nice. Okay, I might talk to you about it. Wait, so are we gonna use the current code for the ctwc card, or are we gonna use new code? We're gonna be using new code regardless. So the current code is like for like a completely different type of device, so it would not work with my approach. Kitaru, I think, is trying to stick to how we've done it before because that's what we have the most research on. But he'll need to get like a new core components. What's called something called a CPLV, because allegedly the one that they make is like no longer viable without paying exorbitant fees. I imagine. So yeah, those are the three approaches. I finished last night the first draft of my PCB design with like all the components and everything. I'm missing a couple of fairly important parts. One, I did not realize that like oh, what are they called again? Some level shifters. Level shifters because the CPU is 3.3 volts and the NES gives 5 volts. And I also need to buy Zor chips because the approach that I had originally planned, I realized would not work in the slightest. Okay, so Guapi, you say that, but keep in mind, I am out of school and not working right now, so things are very different for me. I have a lot more time to work on this. It is summer, so ICX has more time to work on this. And Kataru is like working constantly, so it's not like he'll be able to make like huge progress without like great sacrifice on his parts. It's part of the reason why I'm working on this now instead of working on my video or like working on like any number of things that are more immediately direct, is because I feel like if we stop, the moments, like the momentum that we have right now dies up. It is going to die for months. All right, but we have progress. I did. Yeah, but I have to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Speaking of which, no, because like, okay, the other thing is that I have to look, be like me, and don't you literally like you were describing like 6 different jobs that you do? The fuck you mean? Resistor voltage divider. That is. So I got a voltage regulator instead because it was cheap and I didn't want to think about the wiring. Those don't count. I guess. I mean, I suppose. Don't you also have your super secret savings too? I was getting one rat race coffee. Am I not streaming? I was actually. So I actually wanted to like raid somebody, raid somebody, but we're talking a bit about basically CDWC comp carts, like basically how they have to do it in a very specific way that like like online tournaments can get away, online and like even regionals can really get away with. Thanks, Andrew. So yeah, that's basically just the situation. No, it's like we want to be able to like one like have more people be able to like qualify using whatever method we desire. Two, like you can have like basically we won't have the situation where like silver and bronze won't be able to use same seeds, or like maybe they can, but it's like kind of weird. And then 3, I want this shit to be open source. All right, my stuff is already open source. You can go to github.com/fractal161, and my most recent repository is called SuperGG, and I have uploaded my schematic files from KiCad already. They're wrong, but they're there. And I like if a big part of the reason that why things got to the situation they are right now is because of the unmaintainability. I want to make sure that's like the instructions for making this are absolutely clear. Toast, I'm so sorry. We're about to wrap up. Working first is kind of important. Yeah, and I don't know if my thing's gonna work, but then again, as long as if one of my product, Katara's product, and Alex and ICX's product works, then we're golden. All right, even if mine is ultimately not the one that becomes mass produced, I think I'm happy with just like learning how this works. I have like done what feels like half a semester's work of like PCB design and like learning how shit works from the ground up in like a week. And it was fun. It was just distracting because I am working on a different project. So, in light of that project, let's take a look at who we're gonna raid. Oh my God, Jounce Tetris is live. Oh, and he stopped working on the thing. That's so sad. Oh no, no, he's working. He's streaming art. He's streaming art. Okay, okay. Jounce underscore. I wonder what he's doing. Getting a rollover Stack Fox match. He is not playing Tetris. Yeah, see all the old names streaming today. All right, everyone, showing some love. Take care. Bye.